Hi, Lee, finding Country Derbyshire, and this is my first market update report of 2022. So I think it's important that we reflect on where we are currently so everybody's aware about what is happening in the current housing market. And I will go on to just talk about some predictions and some trends that we're seeing within the housing market, of course, as well at the moment. Just been announced that Halifax report is out, the latest house price index, 9.8% increase in average house prices throughout last year. We've reported throughout last year often about how busy the housing market has been and all about the lack of supply, the race for space for people to move to countryside locations and places where they can work from home. And that, I think, is here to stay for the foreseeable future, really, when it comes into it. The current picture of the housing market within the Derbyshire location that my office covers is that 66% of homes are currently under offer. That's an increase. So this time last year, we looked at it and it was 55% of homes in the total market that were under offer. When you break that down into market segmentations, you can see that 54% of homes above 500,000 are under offer, and it's quite a balanced market. 45% of homes above £1 million that are currently under offer within this Derbyshire marketplace that we feature in. But there is still this subdued supply of property within the market, and we are still somewhere in the region of 25% lower than pre-COVID levels in terms of the total amount of people within the market. That's people that are either sold or currently trying to sell. And that's a significant market. That's a quarter of the market, which just still isn't there at the minute. Trends within the market. So what's happening really within the market at the moment? Well, there are reports that valuations are up significantly. We're finding that at the moment. The number of people booking in valuations is significant. There is still an overdue or a pent-up demand of people that potentially would have sold last year that do still want to sell. And obviously the key thing to look at that is there's lots of people that want to sell, but they can't see a house that they'd want to move to. Well, if everybody put the best foot forward and actually got their homes onto the market, that could solve a lot of this supply and demand situation. Also, just going back to those supply and demand figures, remember that 66% of total market, these are figures from Rightmove. One of the features of the housing market last year, we were selling homes before they even hit Rightmove. We were selling discreetly marketed properties. We were selling properties that we knew were coming to the market, but we had a register of buyers looking for precisely that sort of thing. So if you're a buyer today and you're looking at the internet and you're scratching your head thinking, well, there's nothing for me to buy, what am I going to do? Please make sure you are talking to good estate agents about what they have coming to the market. Make sure they're registering your details and keeping you informed of properties that might come available, which are perfect for you. It's even been the case that we've managed to have two people that are both thinking about selling. One person's looking for this person's house and this person's looking for that person's house. We managed to put the deal together and houses swapped. So yeah, the supply and demand situation is one thing, but also look at the wider picture of the economy. Obviously COVID, we've got record cases coming through every single day, it seems at the moment. So that is still going to impact into the market and potentially into the economy as well, and people's job security factors. Look at also the squeeze on income that is clearly happening at the moment. Look at things like energy prices. People's affordability to move could be impacted significantly if this continues. And the inflation news isn't particularly great either. Inflation on the up. One of the biggest tools we have for battling inflation is obviously interest rates, and we've already seen that first slight increase in interest rates. So the key thing is what is going to happen with mortgages as we go further into 2022. Will they become more expensive? But the flip side of that is a lot of the income multiples are also being changed, and how they assess people's affordability for that mortgage in the first place is also being relaxed somewhat. So what's the upshot? It's probably going to lead to slower growth. We do not expect to see double-digit house price inflation throughout 2022 at the moment. We have some predictions. Halifax are saying somewhere between 0 to 2% increase in house prices. Zoopla, 3% increase in house prices. Rightmove, the most optimistic, is saying 5% increase in house prices. Nobody knows for sure It's impossible to be exact with those numbers. But what is also interesting, nobody's saying house prices are going to move backwards, and everybody wants to buy their house at the best possible price. Even if the worst case scenario of those predictions for this year is 0% increase in house prices, well, the sooner you buy, the better, without question. And we know that the spring market is a good time to sell. You can then be in your new house for summertime. That being the case, now's the time to call us for that valuation, for us to be able to come and see you and give you guidance on when is the right time for you to bring it to the market. Also, what you need to do to your house to maximise the value of it when you also bring it to the market. We're open, we're ready for business, we're all vaccinated in the office here, we're all pleased to come and see you, sit down and talk to you about what we see happening within that housing market, where particular demand is high. And it may well be the case that we've got a buyer registered with us today that will be very interested in your property, and therefore you could potentially have an offer on the table ready to jump on this new supply of property that will hopefully come to the market as we go into spring. So thank you for watching. I hope you found this useful. We look forward to seeing you soon. And if you have any questions following watching this report, all you need to do is get in touch with me on the following contact details.